All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Inclusion Matters podcast with Inclusion Pro Wrestling. I'm the Heartbreaker. Our guest this evening is the beautiful and talented Vanessa Craft. Of course, we're joined by the host with the most, the man beside her there, Mr. Principal Tap. And then we're joined in the upper corner beside me with the paint drying, Uncle Fester looking Messiah wannabe who thinks he knows it all and who's pig-headed and moronic, Mr. Nathan Noss.
You know what? Paint drying, huh? That's funny, considering I have more charisma in this little pinky than you have in your whole body. So,
but before we get started, let's go ahead and do something that we haven't done in a while. Inclusion Matters podcast and Inclusion Pro Wrestling are proudly sponsored by Forever Fit Gym, Trophy Smack, Columbia PR and Marketing, and ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on this podcast, we can now announce a new partnership with Global Wrestling Family.
Yep.
Woo!
They are also the proud sponsor of Miss Vanessa Craft. So,
Sure are.
With that being said, Uncle Fester, take it away.
Yeah. Uncle Fester thing throws me off every time, although that was a very popular show. So, can you tell us how you got started in wrestling?
Pardon me? Sorry, it glitched.
It's all right. Can you tell us how you got started in wrestling?
Yes. So I watched the show Glow on Netflix with Allison Brie in it, and I could relate to living in Southern California and wanting to perform and not being able to really figure out how to break into it. And then I watched that show and I was like, why don't I do pro wrestling? And then I looked at all the schools in Southern California. I'm like, dang, these are really expensive. So I moved back to Northern California, where I'm from, and I started training here. And the rest is history. Or the present, I should say.
History and present sometimes aren't exclusive. So,
True.
all right, Tap, what do you got?
What is your best finisher?
My best finisher. I really like to do a shining wizard. I think that's really fun. Or a famouser. I like the rocker dropper. Yeah. Anything where I can throw my leg at someone in either direction, it's gonna work really well.
Very nice. Okay, the only reason I made the Heartbreaker last is he hit me with two of those Uncle Fester lines, and I had to pay him back somehow. So if you can get your ego to let you answer a question, please go ahead.
Don't you mean ask a question and not answer?
Same difference. Just ask the damn question.
Do I have to run this show too? I mean, Jesus. I mean, I'm the producer here. I'm the actual owner of Inclusion. So I mean, come on, dude. Give me a break.
I've seen you walk. Is it really running? Is it more like waddling down the street? Come on. Are you gonna ask the question or are you gonna make this lady wait?
Okay, well. Here we go. So, doing some of the research that we've been doing, we've noticed you not only have the Vanessa Craft character, but you also have another character and a tag team partner. How can you? What are the difference between the two?
The difference between the two, I am the gender fluid druid, Vanessa Craft, which means I'm a gender fluid druid. I'm a druid. I sometimes shapeshift into animals. It's a fun time. And then Laura Fraser, they're the adventurix. They're very much in the vein of like Lara Croft or Indiana Jones or Nathan Drake. Just they really like to go on adventures and go to exotic locations and climb mountains and swing on vines and ride bikes and fly in airplanes. They do it all. They're very adventurous. And sometimes Lara likes to team with a scientist named Darwin Finch, and together they make adventures in science.
Very awesome. So Did you have like any role models as far as wrestling before you got started, or was it just watching the Glow show that really got you going?
Yeah, so after that, my friend told me he had a subscription to the WWE Network back when that was a thing in the United States, RIP. And I just watched a lot of their little, like, they had like packages where you could just like watch a bunch of matches of like certain wrestlers. And I watched the Trish and Lita one, which was really cool. I got to learn a lot of history there. And that's how I found Victoria. I really like Victoria. She's awesome. And then I also watched the Four Horsewomen, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks. You guys know. Bailey, of course, from the Bay Area. And yeah, just I watched a lot of that. And I watched other ones. I can't quite remember. But yeah, that's how I got, I learned about wrestling and like the history and like the characters and all of that cool stuff, especially with women's wrestling, which is my fave. I might be biased though.
All right, Tap, go ahead.
If you could pick one opponent to wrestle, who would it be?
Like anyone?
Anyone.
Anyone?
Anyone.
I want to wrestle a shark. Yeah, I like sharks. Sharks are cool, and I want to wrestle one. Or a dragon. That'd be cool.
So I'm gonna translate that. So you want to wrestle Shark Boy or Bryan Danielson?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, no, that would be cool. I would love to wrestle Bryan Danielson. I know he's gonna be more of a part-timer coming up, but if he could come out of retirement and wrestle me, I would be quite flattered.
Well, you're forgetting one other person here, Mr. Messiah, and our it would be remiss of me not to bring this person up. As the spoiled princess has already popped in the chats and said, Mr. Brian Brooks would be another one that she should wrestle. Because as we know, spoiled princess calls Brian Brooks Shark.
Yes, and rightfully so. This man. We also call him the straight edge bulldozer because he's the size of a bulldozer. So.
Oh, okay. I've wrestled big people before. I'm very speedy and fast. Maybe I'll have to shapeshift into a triceratops to take him down, but whatever it takes.
That would be an interesting match. That would.
Yeah, I haven't quite figured that one yet. I've shapeshifted into a snake though, and that's helped me win a match. So.
Very cool.
So let's get into it. Let's see here. In your career, and we know it's only been a couple of years, but who has been your toughest opponent as to date?
Probably Dave Reckoning. He has a mask that is completely made out of chainmail, and it looks like a little chainmail ghost, and he headbutts you, and it hurts a lot because it's made out of metal. Ouch. And a lot of my offense is kicking. So if I can't kick someone in the head, that kind of eliminates a lot of my offense. So I really have to wear him down before I could finally just get him to a point where I can finish him. And yeah, he was pretty tough. He was my first match, but I won though, so not that tough, is he?
So, when you had your first day of training, what was your first thought when you got done? A lot of people say it's, what the heck did I get myself into? But it's always interesting to see if that changes.
Yeah, it was pretty much that. Also, wow, my legs hurt a lot. I think I just pulled my quad. Tomorrow's gonna be hell, but well, let's keep, you gotta suck at something before you start being good at something.
That is true.
Yeah. I mean, some people are naturals, but, I personally have to work hard at it. I'm not a natural.
All right, Principal, what do you got?
What was the best advice your trainer gave you?
The best advice my trainer gave me was, this is supposed to be fun. So if you're not having fun working at a place, just don't work there. Or if if you're ever not having fun or like working a certain opponent or whatever the case may be, just don't do it. Pro wrestling is supposed to be fun. And, we do so much with our bodies to do this. Like, don't add, being miserable on top of being in physical pain. So yeah, always prioritize having fun.
Very cool. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna do a fun one here. I know you've been again short time. Have you had any championship opportunities?
I have not, but Laura Frazier has. I mean, I did win a trip to space once, but Laura Frazier has won several titles. She won the South Bay Women's. She was the first ever South Bay Women's champion. She has also won the Lucha Patron light heavyweight title. She won the Lucha Patron tag titles with Darwin Finch. And they also won the women's the Wild West Championship Wrestling women's title, and they currently hold it still to this day. Oh, and they won the Intergalactic Tag Team Championship titles with the Lost Treasures at Hood Slam. So yeah, they've held quite a bit of titles.
But none for Vanessa yet.
None for Vanessa yet. Just a trip to space.
Well, and I know our other co-owner / champions in there. He's a fighting champion. We may be talking here shortly. So.
I'm ready for anything.
I'm surprised you could say all that word from that one title. I mean, that's a long title for a belt.
Oh, yeah. Well, I could have just said WWCW, but I wanted to make sure people who are not familiar with the Reno wrestling scene, which could be a lot, it's a pretty small scene, knew what I was talking about. Because there could be other WWCWs. Who knows?
Okay, but before you ask your question, Mr. Messiah, our next show, Larry, is August 3rd. August the 3rd. That's right. August the 3rd. We are literally almost 2 months away. And it will be in not the church this time. No, we're in an outdoor location on Bunker Hill Road. I will post the address and everything. Flyers coming soon to Facebook, so please be watching. And again, Larry and everybody that's in the chat, Vanessa Craft will be coming to Inclusion Pro Wrestling in August and in our show in November. So,
yes, which we're very excited about. So, the Heartbreaker mentioned that you're sponsored by the Global Wrestling Family. How did that come about?
Yes. So Taboo, who's the CEO, found me on Instagram and started chatting with me a little bit about possibly doing appearances, because they also help run conventions in the conventions, so possibly doing appearances. And they were thinking of even starting his own promotion, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. But yeah, they were just like, "Oh, hey, how's the wrestling career going?" I'm like, "Fine." I'm just a little frustrated because, it's hard to get promotions to, fly me out because flights are expensive. I understand not wanting to drop money on, someone who just been wrestling for 2 years that only several people have heard about. So yeah, I totally get it. I totally get not wanting to drop money on a flight. And he's like, oh, well, maybe I could sponsor you. You just rep the brand and I can help you and all that stuff. And I was like, that would be amazing. Cause yeah. And I saw, I have other, women in the business that I know that are sponsored, such as Brooke Havoc. She's sponsored by the wrestling company, and they do really good work with her. So I was hoping I could get something similar, and thankfully I found someone because it's great, and I get to wrestle at Inclusion Pro Wrestling as a result. So can't say I didn't lose, because I didn't.
Nope.
So,
and again, we'd like to thank the Global Wrestling family for making that happen.
I would too.
Absolutely. And thank you for being a proud sponsor of Inclusion Pro Wrestling.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, Principal Tap Ass, what do you got?
Well, I have to
make
a comment on somebody made on the remarks. Someone heard the word money, and he popped in.
Oh no!
Actually, he's another California
Welcome, Dick Dodge. My next question is, I might as well do this.
Just go with.
This question has been asked so many times that we only had one obnoxious answer to it. What is your favorite cookie or snack?
I'm so sorry. You just got cut off.
What is your favorite cookie or snack?
You got cut off again. I'm sorry.
Let's try that. What is your favorite cookie or snack?
Oh, that's an amazing question. I don't know why you thought that was a bad question. That was a great question. I like Cheez-Its because they usually come in the resealable bag, so I can save them, or Pringles, so I can save them for later because I don't have to eat them all at once. I could just save some for later. Yeah, those are my favorite snacks. No, that was a great question. I wish more people would ask questions like that.
Well, Mr. Big Money, I don't know. Maybe because she hasn't heard from you, or maybe she hasn't heard of you. Let's find out. Do you know a gentleman named Big Money Dodge?
I do now.
Although he's a Southern California guy, but you guys seem to have the same taste in sports teams. So maybe you are big money material. Just, 49er fans have to stick together, right?
Yeah.
Except for when they get beat by the Seahawks.
So.
I mean, they did beat them. They just didn't get beat. They just got beat by the Chiefs. Couldn't beat the Chiefs. Couldn't beat the power of Taylor Swift.
Well, to be fair, I don't think anybody did this last year. So, anyways, go ahead, Messiah.
So we do a lot of top 5 questions. So your top 5 female wrestlers of all time.
Oh gosh. Okay. That changes every day. But today I'll say Medusa would be my number 1. Number 2, I would say Trish Stratus. Number 3, I have to say Lita because she went to train at Stoner U and I met her and she's really cool. 4, I would say Mercedes Moné / Sasha Banks. And 5, I would say Bull Nakano. Yeah, that's who it is today. Might change tomorrow. We'll see, but that's how I'm feeling today.
I really like that list, mainly because nobody really says Bull Nakano, and I think they really should because, obviously she had a great career, but I don't think, other than the Hall of Fame, I don't think she gets the recognition fan-wise that she should.
No, yeah, I haven't met anyone in this business who does not have respect for her, which is, yeah, she's very well respected, is what I'm saying, as she should be.
All right, Principal, what do you got?
Okay, since we're on that, out of this tag team, which member is the most underrated member of the Midnight Express?
Of the Midnight Express?
Yes.
I'd say both of them. Both of them, you could use more recognition.
That's fair.
That's
I
fair.
like that.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Because, like, I don't know, when people talk about tag teams, it's always like Hardy Boys, or, yeah, Hardly Boys, Dudley Boys, the Rockers. Yeah, they don't really get brought up a whole ton. And they should be brought up more. Also, the Stoner Brothers should be brought up more, but I'm biased.
Yes, they should. I've seen quite a bit of videos on the Stoner Brothers, and yeah.
Yeah, they should get booked everywhere.
All right, Heartbreaker, what do you got?
Let's just get that question out of the comment box. Have you or are you currently looking for a manager?
Well, that's a big money dodge question.
I am not currently. Druids don't really do managers, but I don't know. Maybe I might need some help later down the line. I don't know. I'll keep it open.
You know, it'd be a cool thing is if like you could roll out, then like shape shift into your own manager and kind of do a co-thing where like you wrestle and at some point you're still your manager at the same time.
That would be cool. Yeah. Yeah. I think
All
I
right,
can manage
Mr.
that.
All right, Uncle Fester.
So I know you already have a tag team partner, but if you had a dream tag team partner and the promoter said, I'll bring in whoever you want from any generation, who would it be?
Andre the Giant.
Very cool.
Yeah, because, I have such a big guy and I'm, small and quick, so it works really well. And also it's Andre the Giant's a legend, can't lose there.
That would be a very cool dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Pat, what do you got?
Okay, I have to ask this one on behalf of Big Money. What is your opinion on death matches?
What, Big Money?
I think they are awesome. I'm not a big deathmatch watcher, but the clips I see online are really cool. And I think they're really cool. I do get a little scared sometimes for the wrestlers. But yeah, I think deathmatch wrestling is cool. It gets me anxious sometimes, so I don't watch it a whole time. But when I do, I have a good time.
Oh, okay. So, first of all, I've got a comment from a very special someone to Mr. Messiah.
Oh, Jesus.
He says, hi. And then to Principal Tap and everybody in the chat, she says, hi, everyone. So, I won't embarrass you with the name, but anyway, she says hi.
No, I'll do it. Hello, Crystal. How are you? I have no problem doing that.
And my question is, again, a big money question. Man, he's dominating this chat.
He's dominating this podcast. Nobody can get another question in.
Have you ever faced Miss Brittany Brooks?
I have not, but Laura Frazier has twice. The first time they lost via DQ, and then the second time they won. So,
Oh, there you go, Big Money. She's got a victory over your Big Money talent.
Well, here's the thing. For the booker that she's got that dream title with, maybe Miss Laura should be getting a title shot if she's already beaten her. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
I think so.
Yeah, I'd love to
Okay.
wrestle Dream White.
Okay, Mr. Messiah, if you don't choke up because somebody's in here watching you, ask your next question.
You're really feeling it tonight, aren't you? So, what would be your opinion? Shut up. What would be your opinion on a ladies Iron Man match?
I think that would be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, no, that would be awesome. I don't really have much other to say about that, but I've seen I really like the one with Bayley and Sasha Banks in NXT, and then there's another one I saw that was really good and I can't remember what it was. But yeah, women's Iron Man matches, rad. There should be more of them.
See, and personally, I would take it like to the next level because for some reason they only do like the 30-minute women's Iron Man match. I think if you get the two right women, you could do a 60, like a normal 60-minute Iron Man or Iron Woman, I guess it would be match.
Okay.
I don't know if she froze or...
Are you there? Oh, she might have froze. Anyways, okay, so it looks like we might be having technical difficulties here for a minute. Again, thank you, Trophy Smack. Thank you, Columbia PR and Marketing. Thank you, Forever Fit Gym. And, of course, Global Wrestling Alliance. And as soon as she gets back, Principal Tap, you're up. But until then, Messiah, when are you going to grow your hair back and quit looking like Uncle Fester?
You're just jealous because I make this look good.
He must be inhaling the fumes of the turtle wax because he's delusional.
But I guess I can go on record here and say, well, we'll wait for Vanessa to get back. But Crystal, this is directly to you.
Stop. Hold up. All right, go.
This is directly to you, Crystal. Thank you for making the crippled Messiah, a.k.a. Nathan Noss, a.k.a. Uncle Fester, the man that he is today, because without you, he's lost his smile. And look at him now smiling ear to ear there, because this is probably the happiest he's been in a few years that I've known him. So thank you, Crystal, for that.
Sorry, my phone died.
No, you're good.
And Vanessa's okay. There we go. No, it's perfectly okay.
You're good.
Good. Okay, cool. Anyway, you were saying.
Tap.
All right, you're up.
Okay. Nathan, go ahead. I gotta think of one.
Actually, it would be the Heartburn's turn, not mine.
Okay, well then I guess we'll just what's one match that you haven't done but you'd want to do? And this question is brought to you by the good son Andrew Michelson.
For a second I thought you were gonna say it was Big Money Dodge again.
Like a stipulation match?
Any match that you wanted to do that you have not done yet.
Okay. I haven't done a ladder match yet, and I would like to do it at least once. Because I'm crazy.
Very cool.
Well, that's kind of funny because Mr. Michelson's manager, a spoiled princess, would love to do a ladder match too and get involved, but she may push you off.
Yeah. I might have to do something about that.
Well, you're a shapeshifter, right? Just like shapeshift into a bird or something. That way you wouldn't hit the ground. You'd have a tactical advantage that way.
That's true. That's true. Good to think about.
All right, Messiah, your turn.
So, how did your science tag team come about? Because that's a very interesting concept to me.
So Adventures in Science happened. Basically, Darwin and I kept talking about how we would want to, or Darwin and Lara would talk about how they would want to wrestle each other. And then, they got booked together as a tag team at Lucha Patron, and then Full Queer, I guess, got wind of it and was like, yeah, why don't we make that an angle? And so they started tagging at Full Queer, and it just blew up from there.
Very cool.
But yeah, one of our good fans, Belle Beefer, she came up with the name, tag team name Adventures in Science, based on one of their favorite films, or her favorite films, Adventures in Babysitting.
Which was a great movie, by the way. All right, Tap, if you can come up with a question this time, what do you got?
Okay, I do got one. Who's the best wrestler turned actor?
Oh, we lost her again.
We lost her again. She'll be back.
Yep.
But again, Big Money Dodge, I bet you can make that happen, because Miss Scarlet Rose is another one that Inclusion would really like to book. But you see, I haven't really talked to her manager, because I hear he's a snake in the grass and loves too much money. So
what, you mean the Monopoly money?
So I think the money would be fake that he gave me. So I'm not 100% sure if I'd really want to do that or not.
Come on, your grandson runs Milton Bradley. You can get enough Monopoly money on your own.
I don't know if you guys just saw the Big Money's other post.
I don't know what happened there. It just glitched out.
That's okay. It happens. Sometimes internets are wonky, and with Big Money Dodge in the chat, anything can happen. I think somehow he's got.
I think he paid off the internet provider or something.
Yeah.
He's just mad that I beat Brittany Brooks.
There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, Pat, go ahead and ask your question again, since you were asking it as she was fading away.
Okay.
Maybe she was
Who's the
shape-shifting.
best wrestler turned actor?
I do remember hearing that. Batista, I would say, is the best wrestler turned actor. I think he does a really good job. Like the Knives Out sequel, Glass Onion, he was great in that. He was great as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. Knock at the Cabin was really good. He did really good in Dune. He's just really good. I think, they all have something to offer when it comes to acting, but I feel like Batista's like a dramatic, serious actor.
So if the Heartbreaker will indulge me for a minute, I have a funny story about Knock on the Cabin. So I live in a nursing home.
Crying. I don't want
to. Yeah. So I live in a nursing home, and they shut off all the lights at a certain time. Shut up. And so I'm watching Knock on the Cabin. It gets to the point at the end where the big thing's gonna happen, and somebody snuck in my room to ask me if I needed anything. They didn't say anything, but they just tapped me on the shoulder. I literally almost jumped out of this bed so much I walked.
Yeah.
Or are you done? Sorry, I just woke up.
Yeah, well, when you get to that old age, you have to take periodic naps. So if Tap and I have to take this over, we got you.
Get it right, Messiah. Never mind. I'm not even gonna go there.
Yeah, that's true because it would take more than 2 syllables.
All right, Tap, why don't you ask a question?
Don't forget, I'm closer to you, so I can come over and throw some little sprinkles on you.
And
This lady's a really
Tap
good.
just scared our guest out of here this time.
She is a really good shapeshifter. She can shift shapeshifting right out of the podcast every time.
Or maybe it's the Messiah that's scaring her away. I mean, who knows?
I think it's the glare on that forehead of his.
Yeah. Well, at least I don't have my hair set up like a reject from Mike.
You're just jealous I have hair to do it.
Okay, hang on. It's thinking. She's back.
Hey,
she's
back.
There we go. She's back. All right.
What's your question?
That was
Okay,
hard for some reason.
Big Money says this is why you should eat. This is why she needs to join Big Money Exchange.
Yeah, well.
Did she breathe again?
And
what do you say? Sorry.
Good son.
Oh, hold on.
I agree.
He asked. He said you should join Big Money Exchange, which is his organization or his group.
Okay. Well.
Okay. I don't know.
If I could answer that a little bit, Big Money, why would she want to join you with fake money when she can? She already has the global wrestling family. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, here let's enlighten Big Money Dodge's. Okay, I mean, I understand why Vanessa's glitching now because Big Money Dodge has asked so many questions. The computer thinks it's all about him.
He's overloaded the system.
It's not. It's about Vanessa. But he brings up another interesting point here. Have you ever wrestled? Again, I believe she's from California, but Miss Scarlet Rose. Yes.
No, but I have met her and I've seen her at other shows.
Well, Big Money Dodge, you might get your wish if you can make that happen, and we can coordinate with Vanessa's schedule. You might be able to make that happen in inclusion because I think that'd be one hell of a match.
Little advice though: if he tries to give you money, run.
Because it's it's of the fake Benjamin kind.
Is it like blood money?
It's monopoly money.
It's the fake.
Okay.
Don't spend it. Don't spend it, or you will go to jail money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Good to know. Yeah. No, I don't think I want to have that as a manager if they're running around with counterfeit money. That's really not my style. Sorry.
Come to the real promoters that will pay you in the real stuff. That you can actually spend.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
All right, Heartbreaker, what do you got?
I just asked a question. I believe it's your turn there.
Actually, it is. So, what's your top 5 tag teams of all time?
Oh.
She did say before the podcast started that the weather is starting to heat up in California, so that could be causing a little issue with her internet connection.
It could be, but again, we'd like to thank and welcome Global Wrestling Family to the sponsors of Inclusion Pro Wrestling, along with Uh, along with
Trophy Smack.
along with Forever Fit Jim, and Jesus, I forgot the other one already.
I think that was it, wasn't it?
Oh, no, yeah, global. Yeah, there's only 4. Huh. I keep thinking there's a big list, but we don't have that big list yet. So, but anyways, as we were saying, Vanessa is the newest member of Inclusion Pro Wrestling. She will be joining us August the 3rd on Bunker Hill Road. Fans, just so you know, that show is going to start early. It's not going to be a 6 o'clock show. We're going to start that show at 4 o'clock because for the first time ever, Inclusion Pro Wrestling is actually giving you a full 10-match card.
So while we're waiting for Vanessa to come back, why don't we run down some of that card? And I will let the Heartbreaker do it because he has the notebook with the match card.
And besides that, my voice sounds so much better and doesn't sound like paint drying. So, of course.
No, it just sounds like the Peanut character, the mom from Peppermint Patty that goes wah wah wah. You know, same thing.
Well, let's start with the very first match on the card. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He's a co-owner, but he gets the first match on the card instead of the best match on the card because that's just how much I think about him. It's a Falls Count Anywhere match with Mr. Messiah and a partner of his choosing, Brian Brooks, versus Chef and a partner of Chef's choosing. And quite honestly, I really hope Chef and his partner beat the shit out of Messiah and his partner just because I need some happiness in my life.
So well, let me respond to that really quick before you go on to the next card. So why would I be scared? And I want to say this to his supposed partner of a guy who is a reject from the Muppets. I mean, seriously, was he gonna pick Beaker to be his partner? But please continue.
Hang on a second.
Well, I can kind of do this a little bit out of order. I know that the first.
Hang on, I'm talking to Vanessa. Just go ahead. I'm going to jump around a little bit now too because I want to talk about a match that is very deserving, and that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Not to outdo our last main event because I don't think that can ever be outdone. Thank you, good son, for such a wonderful main event for our May show. But our main event for August is an I Quit match. That's right, an IPW first I Quit match with the Grappler 4 and the challenger Kylan Rowan.
Welcome back.
Sorry about that. I turned off all my apps, so hopefully that helps.
It's all right. It's probably the weather in California anyway.
Probably, yeah. The Wi-Fi's like, it's too hot to function.
Like, I'm not doing this side. I'm sorry. You get spurts, and that's all you get.
Yeah.
I blame Big Money Dodge.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Big money's easy to blame.
Well, Lloyd, as I was going to go through the rest of the card, Miss Laura here, or I'm sorry, she's Vanessa this time. We hope to
get your names right here.
We hope to get Laura and Darwin shortly. We're actually working on that. Hopefully the first of the year, if it comes into fruition, we will have them as a tag team. But we won't reveal why the first of the year is important. So our fans will have to stay tuned for that. But to answer your question, Lloyd, Vanessa will be facing an up-and-comer and another, newcomer to Inclusion. He's been on Inclusion one other time. But his name is Jeremalo Sabaviro, or however you say it.
Sabavaro.
So there you go. That'll be her opponent in August. We'll go over the rest of the card at the end of the podcast, I promise you. But remember, a special start time of 4 p.m., not 6 p.m., 4 p.m. And fans, please do not show up at the church because we won't be there.
Before we get to the next question, I want to bring up one other thing about that show. When you purchase a ticket, it's a $25 ticket, and it'll also give you your first concession for the show.
Ooh. It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. And talent, please stay for after the show because we will have barbecue for you guys as a thank you for being with Inclusion all year. But of course, Vanessa, you are more than welcome because you are now staff too, or you're now talent too. So,
yes.
Yay! I like barbecue.
So, as we were getting back to, I don't even remember. I think it was Messiah's question, but go ahead, Messiah, ask a question.
Dark California, what'd you do, Dodge? Come on now. Can you give me like 5 minutes before you mess with the stream, Dodge, please? So while we're waiting for her to come back one more time, why don't you continue with that card?
All right. Well, I think our evergreen champ is still in the building. So for the evergreen championship, it's going to be another time match. It's going to be a match that I call Capture the Title. Now, fans, think about Capture the Flag, and you've got Capture the Title. So, with that being said, that's right. We're going to take the title, and we're going to hide that thing somewhere on 5 acres for these men to find. And no, Mr. Goodson, no matter how much you beg me, you cannot use a flamethrower.
Besides, I think Darby Allin might have copyrighted that. But
in that match, we'll have SPA, CJ Edwards, and the champion Andrew Michelson in it. Another match that needs to be talked about, as I let Vanessa in the room, is
Hi. I'm so
Hello.
sorry.
It's okay.
It's all Big Money Dodge's fault. We've already talked to him about it. Hopefully, he'll let us have at least a few more minutes before he cuts you off again this time.
So
okay, good.
Let me get into another match real quick, and then I'll let you ask a question. I promise. So for the Cowlitz County Championship, Mr. JD Grunge has been running away from this man, and I think justice needs to be done. So, Mr. JD Grunge, you get one more final shot at Lance Dean as champion. And if you cannot beat him this time, as long as Lance Dean is champion, you do not get another title match with Lance Dean. So with that being said, you, sir, are in a lumberjack strap match on August 3rd with our Cowlitz County champion, Lance Dean.
Can't run now.
Or if you do, you're going to have some marks on your back, that's for sure.
Mr. Messiah, will you finally ask a question? And Big Money Dodge, please be careful.
Careful.
All right. So ask a question. Here we go.
So if you could pick between the 4 major promotions right now, which would be WWE, AEW, TNA, or New Japan, which one would you want to wrestle for the most and why?
Probably. I'd say probably. Oh, I mean, I really would want to. I would wrestle for all of them, but I guess the most ideal would probably be AEW, just so I could still like wrestle on the indies. It's not like a locked in contract. I guess I could do that with New Japan and TNA also, but yeah. One of those. Because yeah, WWE, I wouldn't be able to wrestle, and the travel schedule is a lot. I'd be willing to do it because WWE can't say no to that. But yeah, that's how I feel.
All right, Principal, what do you got?
Okay, I'm stealing this one from the Messiah.
Okay.
If you could create a WrestleMania card, 6 matches, any generation, what would the matches be?
Wow.
My goodness.
Big buddy, come on. I really wanted to hear the answer to that question.
All right. Well, while she's thinking of the answer, let's go a little bit more over the card. In the semi-main event,
Hold on, that's why she got off. She needed to write down her answer to the question because it was such a long question that she needed to think about it for a minute.
will you stop interrupting me, or do I have to embarrass you in front of your girlfriend?
See, stop it.
Hmm?
I'm not.
Are you
What
going
the
to
heck?
be good?
Does somebody have an amplifier?
Goodbye. So, let's talk about the semi-main event this time, and that is our Inclusion Heavyweight Champion, Miss Sunny Days, versus Louise. Okay. One more quick match note. This is a triple threat match with only 2 competitors announced and a mystery competitor yet to be announced. So for that, it's for the Calais County Championship #1 contender, and that is Mr. Cyrus Wilson and JMO, I believe, versus a mystery opponent. And that match will be a 15-minute Iron Man match. Most pinfalls in that triple threat after 15 minutes is the new #1 contender for the Calais County Championship. And then speaking of some fun matches, we have a freak show match and a match that Mr. Messiah likes to call three rings of terror.
Would you mind if I took the description of that match?
Actually, I would, because it sounds like paint drying. But yeah, go ahead.
So, in this match, before I tell you who's in it, let's talk about the 3 stages. The first stage is going to be bowling pins wrapped in barbed wire. The second stage will be exploding plates, spinning plates. And if it comes to the third, and the third stage will be an acid pie. Now, let's talk about who's in it.
I thought you already did.
I'm sorry, that's your old age and that lapse of memory thing you have going again. I'm pretty sure you need to take your medicine. But
Just hurry up and get done with the match so we can move on.
The people that are involved is the pretender to the guy, his opponent's belt, Mr. Scorpio. And the other opponent is a member of SMW, the Clown Prince himself, Mr. PJ Freak.
And due to technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, Vanessa will not be joining us the rest of the evening, but we will try to get her back on soon. And for those of you that are fans of Inclusion Pro Wrestling, you can see Vanessa August 3rd with Inclusion Pro Wrestling and November 23rd, I believe, for the Palace River Rumble 2, again with Inclusion Pro Wrestling. And hopefully you'll see her for some dates in 2025. So let's see here. What other matches haven't we talked about? Oh yes, that's right. Let's talk about Mr. Goodson again here. You know, he's such a fighting champion. So Mr. Goodson, guess what? Yes, that's right. There's a triple threat match for your Evergreen Championship #1 contender as well. And I'm sure you already know the opponents, so we don't really have to go over that. But it's going to be Joey Thornton, Chad Lennox, and I believe Charlie Bravo. We have a #1 contendership for the United States Championship as well. And that's going to be with the Thoroughbred, Rip Rex, versus JB Moonshine, and wrestling for a second time that evening, Mr. Sababaro.
Really quick, will you please give Mr. Rip Rex's manager the just due he deserves?
Oh, yes, and Mr. Rip Rex is managed by the pizza guy, Mr. Ryan Black.
Thank you.
I'm missing a couple matches, I believe. So that's just a teaser of the card for August. Again, we would like to thank Vanessa for joining us this evening. We would like to thank Global Wrestling Family for being a proud sponsor of Vanessa and of Inclusion Pro Wrestling. Columbia PR and Marketing.
That's the one you forgot earlier.
That's right. Columbia PR and Marketing. Thank you for everything that you do, Mr. Dakota Haynes, and with Columbia PR and Marketing. You need anything done for marketing, you need anything done for PR work, Mr. Dakota Haynes is your man. Press releases. Maybe you need a website for your business. Talk to Dakota. He'll hook it up for you, and he does it pretty quick. Forever Fit Gym is another great proud sponsor of Inclusion Pro Wrestling. Yeah, Mr. Columbia PR and Marketing actually did Big Money Dodge's webpage, and it looks great. So go to the Big Money compound and see the beautiful webpage that he designed for the Big Money compound. Man, everybody's getting some love here tonight. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we're just going to wrap it up here tonight.
Actually, we should give another shout out to our last sponsor too, which is Trophy Smack, which if you're in need of a fantasy football trophy or any wrestling belts, please go visit Trophy Smack. They do amazing work, and we want to thank them once again for sponsoring us. And just one more shot at Big Money Dodge. If there's anybody out here listening from PETA, I have it on good authority that this man likes to throw apples at pandas. So you might need to go investigate him. His address could or could not be in the comments below.
Yeah, you big monkey, or you big panda hating goof. I mean, just because you hate pandas doesn't mean you have to pick on the beautiful, cuddly little black and white bears. How dare you? And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, join us next time. When is next time? I guess you'll have to watch our web pages for that. But please join us August 3rd for Inclusion Pro Wrestling, Inclusion Mania, Summer of Inclusion, benefiting the Longview Kelso Special Olympics. And please, because it's almost back to school time, bring some school supplies for our local children. Thank you, and good night.
Good night, everybody.